Hey everybody, we got just another minute or two and then we'll get started. Amy's back in the house.
Hey everybody, woo!
Awesome
Back.
to have Amy back.
Guess who's
Carrie
back?
did fine, but you know,
Back
Amy's
again.
the chat one. What'd you say?
I said, guess who's back? Back again.
Who?
I am back. Tell
You're
your
back,
friends.
back again? All right. All right.
Carrie says, I did fine.
You did fine, Carrie.
She's totally logged in under Turner's TV. That's funny.
Carrie under Turner's TV.
Because I was like, wait,
All right,
did
everybody.
I type that?
If you're here, welcome. Let us know who you are and where you're from. We have a lot of regulars, and that's awesome. We appreciate you guys
We do.
for
Very
being
much.
awesome. And
Best community.
pretty good community. I mean, I don't know if it's the best. How would you even know that?
I mean, look at this chat right now.
I can't look at the chats too much. Too busy. Hey, we got Mr. Gold. I love gold. So I got here, since I have like 1 minute, I got a package like right before we went live.
It smells so good, this package.
I don't know if I can pick it up though.
Here, can I help you?
I'll try to get up on the lathe. It's a big box of bowls. You got it? Let me come around. So, I got this box. Actually, I'm going to take it down since we did all that work. And it's full of all my rough bowls from the Stuart Batty class. So I don't know how many's in here, but a lot. But I'll show you guys a couple cool ones. Oh, it's like a weightlifting contest to move this thing. A lot of them have some fuzz on them because they're wet. Silver maple. I think that's silver maple. The coolest ones, I think, there's some oak, like oak, and there's some honey locust. These little guys are honey locust. So they're wet, but probably in Arizona, probably in like a couple weeks, I can turn them. But we decided I'm going to turn those first. So, really cool spalted maple.
You should. They need to dry out. They smell so good, you
They
guys.
smell like wet.
They smell so good.
Here's a cool live edge oak.
Smells like a wet forest or something.
Yeah. It's pretty neat though, because these just showed up today. And I think here's a really big, or bigger box elder burl. Had some red in it. Probably won't last, but it's pretty cool. I don't know what that one is. But I think there's like 20 or 25 in here. So it was pretty cool to get this in the mail from the class. And then I got more work to do. But good work, fun work. Okay, get those out of the way. Hurt my back lifting that thing. Whew.
Don't hurt your back.
So anyway, that was kind of fun. Yeah. You never know when a big old box of bowls is going to show up.
We got Jake in the chat. Jake, good job. It was so cool seeing you guys
Yes.
go up on stage and get your kudos.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody knows, but in case you don't, Jake and his crew over at Saturday Morning Cartoons raised, I don't know the exact number, but it was over $17,000, which is killer. Way to go, Jake, and way to go all Jake's supporters. And we did give gift cards, so we're part of that. So way to go us. Little tiny gift cards. But it was still fun. All right. So let's get going here. We're 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Just a reminder, I know Amy, maybe you mentioned it in the newsletter. Arizona doesn't change time zones, so we're always the same. So I think we were with Mountain Time. Now we're with Pacific Time because we just stay the same, and then we just join whoever's in our crew.
The Navajo Nation switches, but like the rest of Arizona.
Arizona, the
switch.
state doesn't switch, but the Navajo Nation does. But
So,
I don't even know who they're with either.
We always get real thrown off when everybody else switches time because then everybody else is like, what happened? It's a different time. And we're like, I don't know, it was the same time.
Yeah, we never change, so we're always kind of just doing our thing. So if you switch time zones, thanks for making it here. I almost texted, it's funny, because I almost texted Jake the other day at like 9:40. It was 9:40, and I was like, oh, it's only 10:40 maybe, or 9:40. And then I looked, and it was like 11:40. So I was glad I didn't text you that night, but I was going to say congrats on the fundraising, because why not wait till 9:40 at night to text you, you know?
Hey, speaking of the newsletter, I just will put in a plug for the Arizona Woodturners Association. Like, they're a really great club, and Chad's going to do a demo this weekend. They do their meetings on the third week of every month, and you don't have to be here physically in Arizona to join the club. And all of their club meetings are on Zoom. So if you're in a place where you don't have a local club, and you would like to join a club, they're a cool club to join in. Like, there are a lot of snowbirds in it that like watch on Zoom for part of the year, and then they come to the meetings part of the year. And anyway, so I just thought I'd say that.
That's a good thing. It's not very expensive. It's like $50 a year. And they get legit demonstrators.
They
not
do.
Just not me, I'm saying.
They do get really good demonstrators. And then if you have a club in your area, like, go join the club.
Yeah.
This is about community.
Clubs are really good. We kind of have like an online club here, but if you do have a local club, I would totally join it. When I was up in Boulder a couple weeks ago, Bob Franklin was doing a demo at a local club, and I wanted to get there, but I didn't have a car, and it was snowing, and it was a whole thing. But like, I want to go up to Colorado, like north of Denver, to check out some of those clubs, because I think it'd be cool. That's
People are saying
That's Dexter barking.
They might not be. People are saying the volume could go up a touch.
The volume could go up a touch. Give me a 1-2, Amy.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Let me see if I can adjust it. We can probably hear Dexter barking.
I can hear it all right in my earbuds when I turn up the volume.
Let's
But
see. Whoops.
Sure.
Let me see what I can do here. Test.
barely you could hear Dexter barking in the background.
Could you? I'll move my mic closer because that'll help me, but I don't know about you.
Whoops, sorry, I had my volume all the way up. What'd you say?
I said I'm going to move my mic closer, which will help. Test.
Darren Field says, Dexter's just setting a customer straight on their order.
Yeah, he's figuring it out.
That's funny.
Okay, receiver gain. Whoop, save that. Check. I may have messed something up, or I may have fixed it. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, that's a good point, Amy.
I'll move my mic too.
Clubs are really cool in most regards. I think clubs have come a long way with the technology getting more whatever. Because like when I went to a club years and years ago, it was kind of like, oh, I wasn't part of the group, so it wasn't as welcoming. But now, man, they're really good, I think. So if you can do it, do it. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to do a project. We're going to do a honey dipper. I got a cool stainless steel honey dipper. And then, are we doing a vegetable peeler?
Yeah. Did you find the honey dipper that was like...
Yep.
Yeah.
In the bag. And then we're going to do a vegetable peeler. Oh, well, I may have not drilled the hole deep enough because I didn't look to see how long the threads were, but we're going to find out one way or the other. And we're going to use the universal mandrel system. Now, if you've heard us talk about the universal mandrel system, this may be a little bit of a repeat, but if not, we're just going to cover it real quick. So what it is, Stainless Bottle Stoppers makes this universal mandrel. It's made in America. It fits right on your threads, We have it in 1 1/4 or 1" 8 for small lathes. And then they make different bushings that just slide over this. So it's kind of like your pen where there's different bushings. Now, what's cool is even just the mandrel here is a bushing. And actually, the 2 items we're doing today, oh, this is sharp.
I would hope so.
It's for vegetable peeling. So this is a bushing, so to speak, that lines me up to the shoulder of this honey dipper, as well as the same for this vegetable peeler. I'll go overhead to show you. So you can see the size of this is equal to the size of this. I'll try not to cover it. So I don't need a bushing, but let's say I was doing like a pizza cutter. So I'm going to take the handle off. This large bushing matches up to the pizza cutter. So if I put this over this, when I turn my pizza cutter, which clearly I must have used the bushing, because why wouldn't I? The pizza cutter lines up with that bushing. So it's a really cool system. I'll tell you the biggest thing, though, for me. See, I messed with there it is. The little home screen on the mics was different. The biggest thing for me, because in the beginning, like years and years ago, I hated turning bottle stoppers or handles like this, because unless you had some sort of insert, which they weren't nearly as available as they are now, you would turn this and you'd take away your tailstock and this would be all wobbly and whatever. But this thing, I mean, you can see, and when I turn it on, it's a little wobbly probably because of when I made it, but it's rock solid is the point. So you can turn the end, you can sand it, and it's safe and rock solid, where if you were just threading the plastic, the resin.
What just fell
Oh, I got it. I see the bushing. The bushing fell off. If you were just threading the plastic, your threads would start to get wore out, or they'd rip out, or whatever. And it was not near as fun. So, and by near as fun, I mean it sucked.
We have a very serious question.
So this is much safer and much nicer. Yes.
How come the pizza cutter makes me want pizza, but the veggie peeler can't make me want veggies?
There's no explanation. That's a really good question, and there's no science to solve that mystery. But I mean, yeah, if you make a pizza cutter, you legit have to try it right then, right? So, yeah, that is funny. Well, everybody knows Amy had food poisoning last week because we talked about it. And we think she got it from a salad. Now, I had pizza and I didn't get food poisoning, so what am I to logically conclude? Salads make you sick and pizza is healthy.
That should not be your main takeaway from that whole
So
situation.
I'm going to take this away just so it's out of the way, but this is we keep this stuff in a little tray. So we make the little tray for these before, if you buy the whole set, it comes with the little tray to hold your mandrel and your bushings. And you can put the little knurled inserts in here, which I'm going to use here in a minute. I'll show you. That's these, the knurled inserts. But it just kind of holds them in these little holes. It's just a way to keep everything organized, because I am a nut for organization.
Wait, sorry.
I thought you might laugh.
Oh,
Clearly you were reading a comment.
I was reading a comment. I was laughing at the comments. What did you say? Say it again.
I said I'm a nut for organization,
Oh.
which is not really true.
Well, you will be in organized chaos. Like, you'll be looking for something.
Yeah, organized
It
chaos.
happened
Let's
this
go with
morning at
that.
the house. And you were like, hey. And then I was like, yes, that's put away.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want a set, this is the universal mandrel set. This is the full set with the bushings. It comes with 5 knurled inserts and the tray. The tray holds all kinds of stuff like screws, Easy Wood tool carbide inserts. I got a little tiny worm screw in here. There's a thumbtack. I don't know why. There's also wood shavings in here, so it holds a lot of stuff. But you can get this whole little tray if you want. If you don't want to, don't do it. I don't care.
Hey, stainless bottle stoppers is in the house too.
Stainless bottle savers, how'd
Is
you
it
know?
Dan? I hope it's Dan. It must be because he goes, oh man, somebody sent me this link and I was hoping to get rickrolled.
You wish you could get rickrolled and when you end up here, Dan.
Oh, so
he's
funny.
saying that because I rickrolled in
I
that
know.
SWAT. I
That's
forgot
why
about
I was
that.
laughing.
I love a
So
good
good.
rickroll. All right. So I got the mandrel on here, but let's prep a blank. Now, we're going to prep a blank, but I was going to do this on the lathe for everyone. And I was going to use my pen jaws because the pen jaws will hold these if it's mounted on an SC4. My pen jaws are on an SC3 and it's like slightly smaller capacity. So I just went ahead and drilled them on the drill press to save time. Sorry, I did want to show you, but it's much like drilling a pen blank for the tube, but you're going to drill it for the knurled insert. Now, I drill a 1/2 inch hole and I drill it 0.66 is the actual insert. So I usually add like a couple thou for human error, my error. And then if you have a project that has a longer shank here on the bolt part, you need to add even more because obviously when I thread this on, if I only go the depth of the insert, I've got a 1/4 inch that may stick out, which we're going to probably run into because I didn't drill these. Let me think here. Let me think. I got a drill, and I got a drill bit. Hope I didn't just unplug everything. I could probably drill a smaller hole behind it because I do have some bits here. So, question, Amy.
Yes.
Which one do you want the vegetable peeler in? Oh, wait. Oh, no, that won't matter because these two are already glued in because I was going to do the whole thing like, oh, magic, now they're glued in. So we're going to do this one. So I drilled the 1/2 inch hole, 0.66, but I'm going to drill a little deeper with this smaller bit that's the same size as the threads. They're 3/8 16 threads. So I'm drilling a 3/8 16, 5/16 drill behind it. Now I'm just going to use my whole bottom for my guide. Well, this may not work. What can I hold it in? Oh, it's totally working. Okay, so actually that worked perfect. What I can look for is without the insert, just making sure I got clearance for the threads, which I do. So that's good. Now, the other thing you can do, and I've done it before when I messed up and forgot to drill deeper, is you can cut these off or you can go in with a smaller bit as long as it doesn't mess up your threads of your knurled insert and drill behind it and it'll work. But let's go with this for now. So I'm going to set that in the honey dipper back here so they're out of the way. And let's go ahead and put this in. So I'm going to use 2-part epoxy and I'll show you how I do this. It's pretty simple. I'm just using BSI. This is 5-minute. However, don't plan on using it in 5 minutes. Plan on using it like in hours or tomorrow. I mean, if you have to get by in 5 minutes, it'll be hard, but it won't be fully hard for several hours. Now, if you've got 15 or 30-minute epoxy, that's better because the shorter the cure time on epoxy, the more brittle it is. So 15-minute and 30 will be a little more forgiving than the 5-minute. Something to keep in mind. And I'm just putting 2 little dots here. Well, I'm trying to. Not doing a very good job. There we go. And you want those to be approximately the same size. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to weigh it, but they do need to be close. If they're not close, it won't cure right. But I can't remember the last time that I did this and didn't have it cure when I just eyeballed it. But do stir it thoroughly. Make sure I'm not covering the camera here. Oh, no, I'm not.
Jim said he did that same drilling technique with some HDPE yesterday, and he made a real nice whirl design on his index finger.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't show it because I was behind on the deck, but I let go of the blank when I drilled that and pushed down. But okay, so what I like to do is use the mandrel for this. And I'll put the knurled insert on. Now be careful because you don't want to get a lot of or any epoxy on this. You want to be controlled, but you can use this to hold it because it's a lot easier for me to hold this than it is to hold just the knurled insert and put glue on it. So I'm putting it on one end first, and then I'm going to go back and kind of smear it. But this is a snug fit. So there's not a lot of room for glue, but there is some room for glue. So make sure you have a good amount and then push it on. Now it should be fairly snug, but if you twist, okay, there. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I've got a pretty good amount of epoxy squeezed out. So right away, get some paper towel.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes, Amy, question.
With things like flower blanks and, sometimes you paint the tube.
Yep.
Would you ever put like color in the epoxy when you were doing this?
Yes, good question. Well, let me talk about that in one sec. So make sure you wipe off the epoxy while it's still wet. If it dries and gets in your threads, it's kind of more work. So this is much easier. And then when you wipe this, hopefully you can see the ring of epoxy. Don't wipe it into your threads. Wipe it away and like into the space between the threads and the wood or the resin. So Amy asked, could you mix color into the epoxy essentially?
Like similar to painting a tube?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's an example. So this is a color drop, so it's got clear with colors in it. And if I just glued the brass tube in there, it would really stand out because it'd be shiny brass. Now you can probably see it. It's white. But the white kind of hides. And I have tried to mix colors to like match colors, but it's really hard. But you can hide it with color mixing. And you would just mix a little dye into your epoxy. So a little, like not even a drop or a drop will do what we did, no problem. And then when you do you can cover the whole knurled insert with the epoxy. And I even put it down in the hole when I do it that way. And that way it's like coated with epoxy with the color. And if you can see to the bottom of that, I'll try to point it at the camera. It's blue because I put blue in this one at the bottom. So you can mask it, and it's a good thing to do, especially if you have clear. With the flowers, you would probably have some clear showing through the flowers. However, these blanks, this one I just glued, has olive wood at the bottom because I like something to glue the insert into. I think it looks good, and it makes sense to have a little wood in there. But it's not always that way, so you don't have to do that. And as a matter of fact, this one has a piece of cholla with flowers in the cholla, which you can't really see yet, but hopefully when we turn it. And then this one has spalted wood on the bottom. So it just gives you a way to hide your insert as well as give it some strength. And it kind of looks nice, wood with the flowers, and hopefully this one will look nice. It's kind of an experiment, the cholla with the flowers.
Later, Dan. Dan has to go do work.
Dan who?
Dan from Bottle Stoppers.
Dan, dang it. He's probably making Call It Chuck, so we'll let him go. Later, Dan. Wait a minute. He's on the East Coast. It's like midnight there. No, it's like 3. Okay, so any questions on that, the knurled inserts? I did glue these up this morning. I probably should have done it yesterday in my normal wants and desires, but I forgot and I did it this morning. So these could still be a little soft, even though it's 5-minute epoxy, but hopefully they're enough that we can turn these. So we're gonna mount them right on here. Ooh, and that one is way out of round, so that's not ideal, but won't matter. We're gonna thread them right on. We are gonna use a tailstock with a live center. And actually, I'm going to use, I hate to say this because we're out of stock of these, but we got them coming. I'm going to use my Falcon Live Center with the spur.
Hey, John Manette's in the house even.
John Manette,
What
what's
up,
up?
John?
So this is the Falcon, and I'm just changing the end. It's got a replaceable end to this spur end because then it won't keep pushing into the epoxy. Epoxies and resins are soft, and if you keep putting pressure on them, they just push and push and push. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Why not? Okay. So we'll start with this. Well, which one do you want to start with? This one or the Choya one?
Choya? Is it Choya and
Choya
flowers?
and flowers, yeah. We're starting with that one. It's on the lathe.
Okay.
Deal.
Well, I mean, you asked me, and then I was like, I should probably have an answer.
Yeah. Amy, what's the answer? Okay, so this, you can see maybe the front camera. I didn't drill it very center, did I? But you can see the mandrel. This is our guide. Although I'm going to make it a little proud because when I put this, if I thread this knurled insert on this stainless honey dipper.
That's a cool blank.
Yeah. I have room. You can see there's a lip here, but it's real tight. It's kind of like turning a pen where you just have like 0.5 millimeter. I don't want it that thin on the knurled insert because my hole was a little bigger and whatever. So I'm going to make it a tiny bit proud and just make it look good to fit up to this. But yeah, so there's Choya down here. You can kind of see it's dark and then it's flowery. All right, and we're going to use carbide today. Get this up here. Well, see, I haven't even hit the teeth yet here, but over time as this spins and turns, it's going to give way. So I can then tighten it up to the teeth and it'll stop because it'll grip those teeth. So
It's interesting too because the end of that blank is like clear.
This very end here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like it
it's
looks
super
cool
clear.
on the camera.
Which that was, meant to be rounded or turned off, but yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll leave it on that camera for visual. All right, I'm going to use the power cap today because turning resin. How's my hair?
Oh, so
Awesome.
handsome.
Well, I won't. I'll just use this. So I'm using the power cap. The power cap is, we've talked about it a lot, so I probably don't need to go over it. But it's awesome for resin and dust, and you guys should still be able to hear me. Now I did finally remember to rotate my negative rake to a new side, because I talk about it every time that I need to rotate it. The thing is, I didn't remember which direction I needed to rotate it, so I just picked one. So we'll see if it's any good.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go. I mean, you'll still be able to hear me. I'm going to go grab my
I couldn't
mask.
hear you. Oh, your mask? Yeah. Okay, so I want to make sure my tool rest has me turning fairly on center with this. That looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do is just kind of start and go across with my tip to kind of knock down the add around. Oh, let's see what speeds we got here. Oh, we're good. We're over 4,000. That's pretty good. So let's see what this does. Ooh, it feels sharp. That feels pretty good. So I'm just cutting the corners off. Even though there's not corners, what I mean mostly is I'm getting it down to round. Wow, a new tip is like, it's like a party. Okay, but let's take a look. So you guys saw those ribbons, but I was actually only cutting where it's white, because that's the cut mark. So all this I wasn't cutting, I was only cutting here to here. So I'm at a round, but we'll keep going. And I'll go a little deeper, see if I can get a little more cut. Oh, I need a little tighter here. See, my soft material already ate up my point. There we go. Did you just put on lotion?
Me?
It must be this. The flowers smell good.
You can smell them?
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, I also do smell good, and I just walked in the room, so.
You smell it?
I smell like the oil, like the perfumed oil that I'm wearing.
All right, so we're still a little bit, but we'll come back here. Now we can also use a round tool. Last week I kind of showed the new Record Power round carbide, and this thing is nice and smooth. You could use any round carbide. Oh, that feels nice. Takes a big bite. I'm trying to throw those chips away from my face. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we're round. And I think we'll probably turn both and then finish both, because otherwise we'll have to clean up in between, which we don't necessarily want to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, look, I'm almost, see the shiny spot? That's where I haven't cut yet. All the hazy is where I've cut. So we're almost there. But we can also start to kind of think about shape. Now this, what do you think this choya one should be? The vegetable peeler?
Yeah.
Well, actually the vegetable peeler may end up being the other one that we just glued because of the depth. But this would look cool as a honey dipper. So we kind of want like a handle to hold. Do you want like a knob at the top or something? Or just more straight?
I don't know what you mean when you say knob at the top. I feel like you should do what you want.
Do what you want.
But it definitely makes me want tea.
It needs what?
It definitely makes me want tea. Because that's, you put honey in your tea.
Is JP Woodworks in here? I feel like him from Saturday. He was all covered in resin from that bowl. So
Ralph wants to know, is there any other way to tell when a carbide insert is getting dull other than by the feel?
Not that I know of. I mean, usually it just isn't cutting good. When it's like a chore, like you have to push on it more, or you just feel like you're not getting a shaving, it's dull. And I think we all tend to wait too long because we're like, oh, I'll just stretch it out. But man, it's less fun. But I don't know of any other way, like scientifically. So this is the, here I'll show you. This is the downside of turning resin. But it's kind of a good downside because it's pretty fun and you get really good results. But everything gets covered in resin. We'll do this one here.
Jake says JP isn't as cool as you.
Yes, he is.
However, I'm like, I don't know. When you have that accent, you automatically just get cooler points.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. So I'm using a flat round here, the Record Power, and I'm going to grab the Easy Wood with the negative rake. Because negative rake is nice for resins, as well as like unstable or unusual stuff, which kind of what we have here. We have several things that aren't meant to go together. Choya cactus with resin, with flowers. I mean, none of this is what it was intended for, but it's sure going to look cool. Look at this. You can see the cholla starting to peek out, and then all the little flowers.
It looks like you're losing a silly string contest.
Yes, if this was a contest of silly string, the resin wins.
Where's your dryer sheet when you need it?
I know, I need to get some more dryer sheets. So you can probably see from the cutting, like how much lighter the cut is here versus when I have the round, it's a flat, you know, not negative rake, and it cuts really heavy comparatively. Now, you could also use traditional tools if that's what you've got. But I feel like if you have carbide, this is a carbide project for sure. But that being said, use whatever you have. You don't need to buy something just to do something new. Unless you just want to because it's fun. All right, let's see what we got. And I have now got on the face mask. Yes. Okay, yeah, you can see this white mess. I just like to pull it off and throw it in the trash can, which is missing from below the lathe. But that's starting to look kind of cool. You can start to see the cholla now. It's got black in it, and then it should blend in. And we'll see how it looks. We just got to keep moving it. Oh, I bumped the button. My control box is right below, and I bumped the E-stop. I'm going to move it. I guess I can't lean on the E-stop. So I'm just tapering it down to the bushing area. Sometimes this is a good point. Sometimes this will give you a good eyeball, because as you're leveling the whole thing, you'll start to think, oh, it's pretty good size, even though it's way too big. But by tapering this down, I can see how much volume this is versus this. This is still huge. So now I can come back and come across here. So one thing about this round tool is it's round bar stock, so it does rock. So I have to really watch my my control. The nice thing is, it's hard to see, it's got this tri-lobe handle, so it's kind of nice for indexing it. I can kind of hold one spot and know I'm flat because of where it is on the tri thing, whatever it's called. That was a good sales pitch, huh? The tri thing, whatever it's called. What do they call this? Pro Comfort?
Pro Comfort.
Pro.
It has like
Yeah, I forget.
sides, yeah.
But you get the point.
It does feel really good in your hand.
No, it's awesome once you're holding it, but it's really hard to explain and show. Everyone who's grabbed them in the store has bought them because they are comfortable. This is just a lot of material. So this project actually might have been good from a pen blank because we're kind of making it thin for the handle here. We could have saved a lot of material. But look at that, that looks cool. That choy in the front looks kind of neat.
I think it's going to be a good size.
Maybe I put a bead right on the line there. That would look kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be brought down quite a bit still. I'll go back to the negative up here. Alright, go left hand. So I'm just kind of making an arc for with the radius negative rake here. Got quite a bit there still.
We're like talking about tea in the chat.
Yeah?
Yeah. Tea
All
versus
right.
coffee. Bunch of coffee people, but a fair amount of tea drinkers.
Tea drinkers.
Which I feel like the honey dippers are, it just makes me want to have a cup of tea. Even though I don't even really put honey in my tea, hardly ever.
So I've got a little bit of glue on the front of the choy here, but I think it'll come off when I get closer to the bushing there, or the guide, so to speak. While this is large...
You're so covered.
Oh, I know. Where's my... Oh no, where are you?
What are you looking for?
The beading tool.
Oh, we're gonna fit that one.
It's a regular easy wood handle. So what I can do is put the bead on here while it's big, because I'm still going to turn it down. And then, if we don't like it, we can just turn it away. Is that shot better or overhead? I think that one is. Might be a hair low. Now I'll have to leave enough material if we want to do that.
Yeah, we all like the side view.
Oh, that kind of looks cool. So if I shape that down a little bit and have a bead right at the end for the transition, I think that's a good way to transition from something sharp, like a sharp edge,
yeah,
from one to the other. So we'll do that once we get down there. So let's take this down a little more. Move this back a tiny bit.
Oh, it does look real good.
Hmm?
That does look real nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's a good spot.
What do you think, full length? At least the lathe is completely covered in snow for winter. Do you think a bead at the front and a bead at the back, or no? No bead at the back. Just show off the flowers.
If you put a bead at the back, it... I don't know.
So this is the negative rake just ripping through the flour and resin nicely. Still got a little bit there. Oh, no wonder it's hard to see. My light's clear over here.
Huh?
Is that too much for the camera?
I don't think so. When you step away, there's a Celtic knot behind you on the table that looks so cool.
Oh yeah, you
It's
can
like
see
a
it.
tiny one. It's like a pen.
Oh, the green one?
Yeah. Chad, are you going to finish this with CA?
Yes. Yes, we are. Which actually, I may need you to run grab me some. Just a BSI medium flex, if you would.
Yeah.
I thought I had one, but I didn't, and I forgot to grab it. Yeah, because flowers are imperfect.
Here or in the store?
Store.
Okay.
It's either the teal or the pink bottle, but I don't remember which.
I'm just gonna make sure my volume's down before I walk away.
You can leave your mic here.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a little close there, but that's all right. And I want to take this little hump off. And then let's put the bead back in. Right kind of where we had it. And you just want to kind of, this beading tool is really cool, but you kind of want to just give it a little jiggle to get that round worked in there. If you go too short, you'll have sharp edges on the side of your little bead. All right, let's take a look. Oh yeah, that looks cool. So we just need to kind of finish up the back end here. I'm going to pull this away. I'm actually going to switch this. Let's see if I can do it. All right, pulling that out. And I'm going to put this in temporarily. Give me a little pressure. And that way I can shape the back here and then pull that away and give it some shape. Okay. And I don't know if I want to leave any of this clear on the end. I don't think so. I think I just want to kind of round this down. I'm getting a little vibration from that live center. I don't know if you could see it move right there, but this resin, as it warms up, wants to flex. So it's trying to flex on me. So we're just going to kind of come in here, cut that off. And then, this is where the negative rake's real nice. Even though I'm like going in against two edges on the end, it doesn't catch very much. I shouldn't say that. It never catches, or I'll catch it. So that'll kind of be our end there. All right. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. So let's go ahead and take this off now and get that end cleaned up. So this is going to wobble a little bit. And what I want to do is, I like to move this a little bit here. And I just want to try to push this way and not across. So I'm going to bring it in slowly. You can see it wobbling a little. Okay, maybe from the overhead. You'll see the vibration. A little bit high. But this way I'm pushing against the strength of it versus across it where it's not strong. Let's see what we got. We can do a little sanding too. Oh, it's really wobbling. Oh, it came unscrewed a little bit. Uh-oh. Nope. It broke loose of my threads.
Oh no. Because of the epoxy?
It might have been too hot. Yeah, see, look. There's my epoxy's just all mushed. It might have just been too soon.
Can you salvage it?
Yeah, oh yeah. We're gonna use CA in it. Absolutely.
Easy.
We can salvage it. What? Let me have the glue, the medium. Yeah. Okay, so this is a good thing because this is what happens sometimes.
Real life, people.
So we can see how thin. Turn this light off. Thing's real intense. You can see how thin that is for that knurled insert. And then on the knurled insert, maybe this one, you can see the epoxy was all around it, little spot there, but it just broke loose. It was just soft. And that's probably because I glued it maybe, I don't know, an hour or two before, but not enough. And actually, look at that, it's like stuck on there.
Bush fix.
Bush fix? Who said that?
Homer Lax Mike.
Yeah. Well, I like to do this so that way you guys can see real life, because if it just worked every time, that wouldn't be fun. So see, that was kind of
this only happened to me.
that was kind of stuck on there because it probably, once it started spinning, it like melted a little bit of the glue.
Happens to us all.
So I'm going to reuse this. What I'll do is hit it with a wire brush and get all this glue out. But for this one, we'll glue in a new one. And y'all are wondering, maybe, could you use CA?
Why are you putting a new one in? Just because it's like covered in?
Because that one has chunks of glue and it wouldn't, like, unless I put it in the right spot, it would not fit exactly right. And hopefully this glue, will you see if I have any accelerator right inside the door, Amy? If
Darren
not,
says, don't let him fool you. Chad totally planned this as a teaching point.
if not, I've got some next door at the back. No, I did not plan this, but it does happen. I haven't had this happen forever, so this is kind of good, but not good. But it just, I mean, typically whenever I do these, I glue them in and I don't use them till the next day, even with 5-minute epoxy. At the back of 7, Amy, sorry.
I just said the back of 4, but I meant the back of 7. Okay. Carrie and Mike are out there tagging.
Oh, good. Okay, so.
And listening to the live stream.
Listen.
Listen, watch.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue inside of here and probably a little on here and try to get this on. Oh yeah, see, look how loose it is because that epoxy was filling a lot of it. I'm going to try to get it glued in and not stuck before I can get it off of the mandrel here. All right, what
I think
fun.
they went to go find
Oh, thanks.
accelerator.
Yeah, it may not cure until I hit it with accelerator anyway. Whoop. Now, CA is definitely not the best choice in my opinion, but for live stream, when we want to turn something, it's the best choice.
Will you explain why, again, epoxy is a better choice than CA for stuff like this?
Why is epoxy the best? Yeah, good question. So, epoxy, in my opinion, is the better choice because it fills the gap more. It's going to be more filling of any voids in the material. It's going to get into the little crevices of the inserts, which we saw when it came out. It was definitely stuck on the insert. Now keep in mind, this is like a choya blank that I used for this one because it's kind of an experiment of our different flowers. But it just, and I think it gives it more strength. It's less brittle. CA in general is pretty brittle. So I'm just seeing if I can get any in the gap here until the accelerator gets here, then I'll spray it.
What happened to your light?
What?
Oh, I was just saying, what happened to your light?
Oh, I turned it off because it was so bright on the thing here. But one thing that's interesting is when I was turning this, nope, this one, the back end started to wobble and you can see it cut in. Oh, I can't do that yet. Can't do it till I spray this.
Later, Matt. Matt has to bug out. Ralph says,
Thanks.
I've never had a pen blank break free with epoxy, but I've had it happen with CA.
Yeah.
So I only
Thanks,
use
Mike.
epoxy now.
Was this in the back? Yeah, perfect. So we'll just spray this a couple times. Again, probably not perfect to like progress with this without letting it cure for a while, but we're going to roll with it and see what happens. Really all we need to do is shape this back a little bit and then sand and polish, which is fine. So let's see what happens. You guys game?
Oh, we're game.
Now one thing I'm going to do is because if I've got some heavier grit, so I got some 180. Because I just put glue on there, I'm going to just kind of flatten out this front. And it's probably best on a flat surface. Oh, I got glue on the lathe. Cure it and it'll pop right off.
Thanks, Mike, for bringing the accelerator.
That Mike.
Ooh.
All right. So I'm just trying to get the end up to the insert without having all the jagged glue on it. So that's all I was doing there. Okay. We ready to keep going? Let's see if I can get this off of here. Popped right off. Perfect. Okay. This is looking pretty cool though with the two-part. Oh, there's some CA on my mandrel. No. Okay. Let's see if it'll work. Uh-oh. I glue it closed. I don't know what I did. Is there CA in there? Oh, there is.
Oh.
Whoops. There's a lot of CA in there.
Another
How did I do
teaching
that?
Moment. Don't
Well-
get CA on the inside.
Yeah. Well, normally I would just like force thread. Oh, exactly what I was about to say. So I would just force thread it on because this mandrel kind of like does, it has the tapping. But to break the CA loose, as you see, I broke it loose again. So this one is not going to roll for us. But luckily we have one more. So we're going to have to fix that one the hard way and like epoxy it. See, and then I got this stuck because there's CA in the threads. See, look how hard you have to turn it to bust it loose. And there's the CA coming out. Oh man. It like just ran through the back and then out the front. Probably when I turned it upside down, it went from the front to the back. So the whole thing inside looks flat because it's all full of CA. Well, that was a bad move.
Oh, couple things.
Yes.
Everybody's just talking about drinks in here. I'm going to catch you up on the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling them Elements because Jake also drinks Elements.
Yeah.
Like, man, those get us through the summer around here.
Yeah, they do.
And then Harold is awesome. I think earlier in the chat he was mentioning he's newer and like has just kind of joined the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what he just wrote. But now I'm really feeling comfortable here. Pretty much me every time I'm at the makerspace turning stuff.
Nice.
You're like, dang it, there's glue in the tube.
There's glue in the
I
tube.
laugh because me too.
Glue in the tube.
Also, Myra is also going to SWAT.
What?
Yeah. SWAT is going to be like really fun this year.
It's going to be crazy. Will they let her in there?
Yes. So we have like multiple locals here going.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of people going that I know of. What if we change our mind and don't go? That would be weird.
Oh, every week people ask us, are you going? And every week I've said yes. We already booked our hotel room, so we're committed.
What is going on here? This is super weird. I don't know if you could see what was happening, but my live center wasn't spinning freely. And it literally, these teeth like cut into the blank.
What?
I've never seen that happen before. That was weird. See how it's like spinning now? It wasn't spinning. That was bizarre. Boy, it's a day of a lot of weird firsts. Okay, so we're going to have to move this one pretty quick here because we're way behind. We were supposed to be polishing by now. What did Myra say? Bring her wood to the meeting this weekend? Or no?
Myra, are you going to come to the meeting? Should we bring that wood to you?
Some days. What a bummer. I think our choya with the bead was going to look really cool.
Yeah, it happens. I think I don't know. I think at least some of the people in the chat are like, it's good to see that stuff happen because that is real life and it happens that way, you know?
Real life is what we do here.
That's true. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, that blank is not a waste or anything. It's just going to take some time to fix it, so I don't want to do that on here. What's cool?
Myra was saying that she's going to make Emily a pen from those leftovers.
For what?
Those leftovers.
Oh, nice.
She's going to make Emily a pen from it.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys saw, Emily turned an amazing hollow form out of that piece of wood that Myra had her commissioned. I don't know how they worked that out, but it was a really cool piece. You can see it on the She Turns Wood Insta page. Harold says that, and maybe this piece just didn't want the bead to happen. Soul of the blank sort of thing.
Maybe not.
Sometimes it just doesn't.
You never know. All right.
Oh yeah. Bruce says, I've been experiencing that with a pen blank. Everything that could go wrong is. It just happens some days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cool thing is you can just turn something else.
when I'm having a day like that when I'm carving, I usually am like, you should stop, Amy, because you're going to cut yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Myra says that she was going to use that wood for her resin casting with Zach.
Yeah.
But that Emily was like, oh no, you can turn that into amazing hollow form. Like she saw it. And that's how that all happened.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know how that happened, but that was a cool hollow form.
Yeah, it was really good. Oh, those are some cool flowers.
I feel like this one had bigger flowers in it.
Yeah, it might have. Wait a minute. That wasn't the one I glued up, was it?
Was it?
That is totally what...
No way.
That's what happened. Because you just said bigger flowers. This is why I glued this one in this morning.
Yeah.
I literally glued that, set it back here, then picked it up and put it on the lathe.
No, you did not.
Yeah. Because this is the other one, and this is the one I glued up with this one.
Well, no wonder that happened.
Right?
That's really funny, actually.
I mean, this one is not
Well,
wet by any means.
That's funny because you were like,
Or,
it says 5 minutes, but you're going to want to wait a while.
well, definitely not 5 minutes. Wah! In my hat.
That's super
But-
funny.
Hold on, let me look.
I
'cause
feel like you pulled an Amy because I feel like that is totally something else.
now I'm like, is it this one that I glued up? No, it was the other one, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's the one. I mean, this is not wet at all. These are both dry, meaning these are the ones I did this morning. And that's the one I did here 5 minutes before we started. Duh.
That's
Okay,
funny.
well, that's like
Yeah.
when you add 2 bees to the resin.
That is totally like that, which we've done that on camera before.
I mean, you
too.
could rewind to when I was gluing and see what blank it was.
Oh, I don't want to rewind.
Well, then you just hit live again when you're done. Hold on, now there's a mystery.
Hold on. Let me pull it up on my phone. Darren says those are the midnight realizations that wake you
Right here,
up.
you can do this.
No, I know, but okay.
Did you look? Oh, you're not. Yeah, never mind. So where was I gluing?
Did you finish it?
No, Carrie, we're
Super
still
funny.
live. Which blank?
I mean, really
Stand
proud
by.
of you.
Stand by. We're solving a mystery.
Carrie's here.
Because remember, I had to drill it.
Do I have
No,
a
it was the one I'm doing right now.
What?
It's this one. So I'm turning the wrong one. So I did turn the right one, and it came loose. But this is the one I just glued up.
You were so thrown off by Mike's delicious barbecue before the live
Maybe that was
stream.
it.
Huh.
I can solve the mystery right now. If the peeler fits in this one, because I drilled the deeper hole in this one,
Well, I mean, you just showed.
I'm sure that, so I was actually turning the wrong one now, not earlier. Ah! So this one I should not be using because this is the one I just glued. Okay. Really nailing it here, people.
No, you're doing great.
We got it. But you made me think of it because you said the bigger flowers, and I was like, oh, the bigger flowers are the ones I wanted to turn because these are the ones you have to repair a lot because of the
Bigger flowers.
bigger flowers have little air pockets in
Yeah.
them. So Amy, you may have saved us from another catastrophe.
Well, that's weird. Do you think it was too soon, even though you glued them a couple
Yeah.
hours ago?
Yeah, like I said, I like to wait several hours, if not to the next day, because they're just, I mean, they're just soft. Okay, let's try the third time. Okay, third time's a charm, people. We'll do this one.
I'm sorry, I laughed a lot, but I was like, that totally was a thing that, like, it was a mistake that I would make.
You know what we might have to do here? We might have to speed her up. Let's see if we got a sharp gouge. Not very sharp. Hey, tell them to make sure they keep an eye for that truck delivery.
Okay.
Let's see here. Boy, I'm covered in stuff. Oh yeah, that's gonna look awesome. See, that's what I was hoping for. Okay. Well, at least it looks really cool. Let's see what we get. Whoop, a little too fast. Boy, it is snowing in here.
It looks really cool from over here because the light is on the other side, and it's just like throwing streams of resin.
Oh wow, this looks really good. Look at, let's see here. Look at how the flowers are all layered up. You just never know how they're going to come out when you do these. But that one's really cool. I almost hate to turn this one so much thinner for like a opener. I think we should call an audible.
Yeah.
What else could this be? Because look at those awesome big flowers. If we turn it all the way down to that, it's going to be it's going to be thin. Yeah, because look how much less we would have to go. in order to get down to that same size. But these are too cool, aren't they?
Very cool.
Maybe we make it a like a bottle opener with the. What does the group think? I hate to waste all those cool flowers.
The very first vote that just came in was ice cream scoop. Darren Field says ice cream scoop.
Ice cream scoop would be cool. Yeah.
What else is okay? So we got.
So this is a bigger size, the ice cream scoop. So we could leave it big and taper it to this.
It actually could be a really good bottle opener.
Yeah, the bottle opener is the same size as the ice cream scoop, so we could do that too. I mean, let's do it to this, and then we can decide what it fits on. So I'm going to put the bushing on, which means I got to take this guy off. All right, we didn't break loose. That's a good sign.
Yeah, other votes for don't turn it way down.
So it's just one of those things where it's super cool, and if we turn it all the way down to that thin size, a lot of this would be gone. And I kind of want to just taper this and like round it and leave it big. I think it's super cool looking. Those large flowers
really pretty with the big flowers.
are pretty neat.
The chat is up in here talking about TPS reports.
Yeah, get your
and
TPS
web
reports in.
staplers.
You know what we're going to do too?
I actually think it wouldn't be bad to have like a larger handled Veggie peeler.
No, probably not.
That sounds weird, but like I feel like the coffee scoop and the honey dipper are definitely like should be thinner.
All right, do we need some beads or just roll with it?
I think you should not beat it, actually.
Not do beads?
Yeah, because it's such a pretty blank. I think you should just turn it to a nice shape, and then that is my opinion. We'll
Okay.
see what the chat says.
I mean, this is kind of just a flat shape, but I think it's good for this blank. Because we really just want to show off the blank, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of neat, blank. I wonder if we got a flower right on the end.
There's another vote for no beads.
No beads?
No beads.
Too many beads, people. Who's all beading it up in here? Oh, yeah. This could go really well or really bad. Nope, still too high. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
The worst? I think we're far from anything that would be the worst.
Well, the worst with the bead. Just gonna clean out the hole a little bit. Boom. We got some beads, but not beads. We got some ornateness on the handle. I think it looks all right, although there's a flower right there, so it's going to try to break, I think. We're going to wet sand that. Okay.
Do you have a wet bowl over there?
No.
I'll grab you one.
Thank you, Amy. So,
Sorry.
Amy falling down over there. What we're going to do here, we're going to do a couple things.
You have to call me your lovely assistant.
My lovely assistant, Amy. Look at this. Emily, she turns wood. Stuck on my lathe. Stuck. Okay. So, let's cover this thing up. Oh boy.
Yeah, you're covered.
All right, let me get this off, because if I don't, it'll just end up in the water, which isn't really good. All right. Actually, I can take this off, because I'm going to wet sand and stuff. That'll be easier to try and clean this up. Okay. Here, will you take this?
Mm-hmm.
There. Thank you. Cover the lathe. I'm not even going to mention what this thing is. Go away, buddy. There, I mentioned it. Lathe buddies have been very popular because I always use it and Zach always uses it on his channel. And I think you guys are keeping them busy making them.
I saw a video the other day, and all of Marquetta's kids were in there making them.
Oh, nice. I mean, it's cool. It's a little family business just like us, so why not support them? Okay, now.
Michael, she left those magnets like all over the shop in different places.
Yeah, I know. I can see 3 of them from here. 1 lathe, 2 lathe, the bandsaw. All right, let's do this. We're going to fill some spots real quick because flowers will have voids. Let's see if we can find. Like there's a little hole in the flower. There's a little hole there. It could be from the flower or the resin work. Oh, there's a perfect one. So a little pocket. And what it is if you get inside the ball of the flower, it's just an air pocket. So before we start sanding here, I want to go around, and I'm going to use this flex because that's what I've got here. But you could use any CA. And I'm just going to fill these holes as best I can. And there might be a lot of them.
Because there are voids and flowers, does it make it more difficult to turn those blanks? Like more prone to catching and things?
I don't think it makes it more difficult to turn, but you got to do this. You got to do the repairs. But that's with anything natural. Like if you used pine cones or something like that. Oh, I know why I have a pin now. Remember my pin? My push pin? So these, what'll happen is there's air trapped in the hole, and if you use a pin, you can force the air bubble out and push the resin in. So that looks pretty good. I don't have anything in the wood. The wood is stabilized, so it's clean. Just seeing if I feel any holes. Finally, that push pin had a purpose. Okay, now I'm going to spray it. Ooh, look at that. And we're done. No, I'm just kidding. That was just to cure the resin, or to cure the CA. So let's let this spin for a sec. I want to turn this way down because we were turning at 4,000. We want it down under 1,000. And we're going to use some 600 wet dry paper. We have this, I think we have it from 400 to 1,000 or 600 to 1,000. It's like automotive wet dry. Just use good wet dry. Don't use, I'm actually not a non-Harbor Freight person. I like Harbor Freight, but don't use their sandpaper. It's terrible. But a lot of their stuff's fine. But if you use wet dry, get it from like a car painting place or from us, so you know it's good quality. and it'll make your life a lot easier. So I put those little beads in the back here, so I'm going to try to sand them over, make them look good. All right, that's going to look cool. See if we can do a better shot for y'all. So I'm just putting the sandpaper in and around the bead, trying to roll it and keep it wet. Always sand wet, in my opinion. It looks better. So what I was doing with this bead was just adding a little feature to the end so that that hole didn't look bad. It was part of the thing. So now I got that, you can hear the, maybe you can hear it, little dots from the glue that we put on it. We want to sand it down. We don't want to turn it off because we'll just rip it out if we try to turn it. But by sanding it, we'll get it all out. And we're going to put another coat on it anyway. And I'm even sanding the wood. It's stabilized, so it's going to be fairly hard and dense. All right.
Darren says that looks great once it's cleaned up a little. Nice job on the blank.
Yeah, we make these in-house. We have a couple of casters that work here. And that one is pretty sweet. So that's just sanded. Oh, see, there's my glue spot. Looking like it's chippy. Oh, that might have been an air pocket, actually. Oh, look. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Let me go to 4. There's actually a pocket where the pedal is. There was an air pocket under it, and I just popped it by sanding through it. So that's what you'll have sometimes in flower blanks. It's totally normal. It's going to happen, but what you got to do is just repair it in a way that works. One time, a friend brought some roses over. Was it roses? And we cast this thing, and they just packed it with the roses. And it didn't work because there wasn't enough resin. Like the petals would go all the way across. We just had so many in there. And the resin just separated on the petal. Like there was just no structure. So if you're gluing something, make sure it's dry. It did it again with that little air bubble. So have your pin ready and just work out the little bubble. You just got to shove it out. Kind of weird how it works.
It totally looked like you were kissing it.
Now I was blowing I was trying to dry it.
It looks funny though.
There we go. And the little air bubble is out. Okay. All right. So now we got to sand again. Well, cure and sand. Make sure you cure this, or otherwise it's not going to cure. Especially, I'm using Flex, which cures a lot slower. So you want to make sure you spray it in between. Let me get another paper. All right, keep going here. Yeah, doesn't that look cool already, just being wet?
So was it always better to do like a CA finish on like hybrid ones?
Well, that's a good question. So hybrids, a lot of times I do a CA finish because you've got like harder and softer things together, right? Plus you've got transition points, like especially on pens where you have like wood and resin, they're going to sand at different rates and feel different. And by doing a CA finish, you can kind of match it all together to where it feels like one solid piece instead of having two different things going, if that makes sense. Now, we're not trying to sand this to like, zona level because, we are going to put a CA finish on this. Drop my paper. But I just want to get it smooth, and then I want to check it for any other imperfections or any scratches before we do the CA. So what I'm going to do is come back, whoops, and go lengthwise. And our resin looks pretty clear. Oh, it doesn't look very clear right there where I put the CA. So that CA is a little high still where I just put it on. So I'm going to lock the lathe. I'm going to just work it by hand a little bit. And this way I can kind of focus my sanding pressure.
Question, why
Yep.
not use UV resin to fill in the holes and gaps?
You could. It'd be exactly the same thing, just use UV. I've just always done CA, so I'm comfortable with it, but UV is a great choice. I don't think one is necessarily better or easier. I think they're very similar in the results. But you could easily use UV. I don't know that I could right now because I'm under a skylight, actually. So I'd have to block the skylight. But no, UV would be a great choice. Yeah, see that little spot's coming right out. But see, I feel like I already have a low spot around it from my sanding. UV is pretty much the universal, can use it for everything type of stuff. It's pretty great. Make bigger passes here to try to smooth this out.
Carrie said UV is really thick compared to CA and can be hard to fill the tiny holes. She's
Oh,
tried
that's-
it on tiny bubbles, and she says, I don't have the patience, LOL.
That's a good point. UV is a lot thicker than CA, so that is a good point. So if you got pinholes, it might be harder to use UV for that reason. So that's a good. Who said that? Carrie?
Yeah, Carrie.
Yeah, good point, Carrie. Hey, this is looking cool. And look at how this spalted around it. Like the spalting runs just perfect. I mean, that's pure luck. You just never know how it's going to line up. Yeah, it would have been a waste to turn this all the way down. Okay, so I think for the sake of today, I think we're going to be good on that. Now, it's a little wet because I just was using water. So let's try to get this dried off here a bit. So I'm just going to use some heat and warmth to make it, particularly the wood portion.
Actually looks really cool matte.
Yeah, I mean, if you want it matte, we're done.
I
No,
think matte is an underrated
that looks cool. A little
finish
shine there.
on
That'll fill in.
resins.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you hardly ever, maybe that's why I like it so much, because most of the time people always polish to super shiny,
yep,
but sometimes it looks so cool when it's a matte finish.
yeah, it does. So I'm just sanding the front of this to clear out any debris we had in there.
Hey, when you were looking at the CA on there and you were like, oh, this spot where the CA is like unclear,
Yeah,
is the word you used? Was that because, was it, 'cause-
uncured.
oh, was that why?
What did I say?
You said unclear. Like you were
Unclear.
like, oh, it looks really clear. It looks really shiny. You're like, except for this spot
Oh, because
where the CA is. So then Kev was like, would it avoid?
it was
if-
hazy because there was
hazy.
air behind it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how I noticed the bubble. And then when I picked at it, it popped. Like
Got you.
it was soft because I had thinned it with the sandpaper. So it was soft, and then when I touched it to see what it was, it just kind of popped. And that was just over a leaf. You know, it just
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, we got 2 white spots on the back too, which are pits or holes that are probably from the flowers. Because So right on the edge. But we're going to see if the CA will fill them in. If not, we could always attack them later. But I think the wood's dry because being stabilized, it's going to stay fairly dry. Let's clean this off.
Darren said he recently did a bespoke pin in matte, and it has such a great feel to it.
Yeah,
See?
matte pens are great. Uh-oh, I got to sneeze. Nope. Thought I did. Okay, so what we're going to do, get some paper towels. And this is a little bigger than a pen because everyone's seen me do a pen probably. But obviously we're a much wider body here. And we want to get it all the way from the front all the way back in one motion because we don't want a bunch of, what's the word, lines and stuff. But we're going to get some lines. That's just part of it. So I'm using medium flex, Instaflex. This is the BSI one. It says Turner's Warehouse, but it's BSI. They just put our name on it, but it's what we use now for everything. So I got a line on there, and I'm just going to wipe it on around the end. And I'll go twice just because I saw a little ripple. And I'm going to let that spin. Actually, while it's spinning, we're going to do the same thing on the end here. And kind of match it up. See if I can push this into the crack.
We've got votes in the chat also to see some flower pours sometime.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Whew. Normally this stuff doesn't hit me at all, but this CA is strong sometimes. It could be because we have zero airflow.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just trying to get it into my bead.
I know that there's like CA glue that is odorless from that brand, but it's not Flex, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I want to spray. And you don't need to spray a lot. You just need to make sure it's coated. So spray. Now if I stop this, it's going to look pretty nice already. But that's just one coat and it's not polished. We still need to polish it. But that should be, to the touch, not sticky. And it actually is not even remotely sticky. It almost feels like I can feel the spray on the surface. So I'm going to actually, I don't want any extra accelerator on there. So I'm going to wipe it off and then I'm going to let it kind of gas off by spinning another sec. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a line on and I'm going to just wipe across.
The wood at the top of that is so pretty.
It does look good, this one. Okay. And then I'm going to do the end again because we don't want to leave it out. The end is more challenging with this bead. I should have thought of that. I'm just trying to blend it into that corner. I think it's all right.
Well, that's a good idea, Ralph. Ralph said you could wear your power cap for the CA mount.
Yeah, I should actually. Whew, stinky. So I usually do 4 or 5 coats on pens. I don't do a lot of kitchen gadgets CA finished, so this is kind of a new one. We'll do probably 4 here because they're pretty thick. I'm laying it on thick. Oh, I almost got a finger.
Glue on your finger?
Yeah, I almost got it.
Oh, the smell is reaching me now.
It's reaching you?
Woo.
So, what you should be able to see are radial lines. And when I touch it, oh, it's a little tacky because I didn't spray it. When I touch it, it kind of feels like an orange peel. And that's good because that means we're getting our coat kind of level, but it's like rippled up. Man, that looks cool. That's a good one. Good one. All right, we'll do one more. And then we're going to polish it. So one thing you don't want to do is push hard, and I always say squeegee off your glue. You want it to just kind of lay out, and then, you know, you're spinning, so hopefully it's flat, not clumped up. Okay. Now that was the last one, so we're gonna let that spin for a sec. What's up?
Carrie says, ooh, it looks like it'll be really pretty in my kitchen.
No, it will not.
In the kitchen of the store display?
You never
It
know.
would be pretty in Carrie's kitchen, though.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's get some 800 out. 400, no. That's Armageddon. Oh, maybe I don't have 800. Okay, we're going to use 400 or 600. Okay, so we're going to use 600 again, but we're going to be very gentle. What's the better one, this one or this other one? So we're just trying to take down the, remember those lines, the orange peel I said? We just want to knock them down and make sure everything's flat. That's why I'm using my thumb on the other side. And we just want to smooth it out, so to speak. If we sand for too long or too hard, we're going to sand it all off, which isn't ideal. Oh, that one did not want to work. All right, let's see what it looks like, because we're gonna do our zona here. So when you wipe it and you can see that the highs and the lows kind of look good. Probably need a tiny bit more.
Hey, do you know if this particular blank you're working on, if this was a one-off or this one is similar to some of the others that we have that are like repeatable?
Well, so they're all kind of one-offs, but they're all very similar. So yeah, we have other blanks that are like this, but I mean, I say that they will not look exactly like this, of course, because you saw just the three that I had were all different.
Yeah.
Okay, that feels really good. So now I'm going to go to, but these are like, there's handles, there's bottle stoppers, and there is pen blanks, all in this kind of world or realm. So I'm going to use Zona. So that's kind of a no answer of like, yes, but no. Now remember, what?
Oh, sorry.
Zona green is like 600-800. So you want to be careful. You can take a CA finish all the way through if you're not careful. And I'm pushing on it, but I'm not pushing like crazy. I feel like, let's see. Oh yeah, that's shiny. I feel like our glue line has left us a high spot. And it could just be bugging me and not be a big deal, but oh yeah, that looks good. So I always like to take the Zona and go horizontal. It should be fine enough that it doesn't leave lines, but who knows? And it looks good if you do this. Now you could also use like magic juice or Yorkshire grit. What is that? See, that looks like a chip, but it's just a petal coming out the end. So you could use any, boy, look at the sun, got bright. You can even see it on the screen how much brighter it got. You can use whatever you want to polish. So I'm using Zona paper. You could use micro mesh. I would say probably your best bet is one of the ones we offer. Plug, shameless plug. Magic juice, Zona paper, micro mesh, or Yorkshire grit. On this one, with this being a CA finish, I would use the microfine, or if I used the other one, I'd use both. But the microfine is really nice on hybrids, and it's really good for resin. So that's what the microfine will do for you. Here, let's switch. So I'm just walking this around, making sure I keep it wet.
It looks like the one you're working on is closest to the one on our website called Flower Girl. It has like bigger.
Well, there were some Flower Girl that was
Oh, that's-
Kayla's, but we only had a couple left.
That's not what I'm talking about. Like
Oh.
the names of them, like one of them's called Peace and one of them's called Lavender Haze and one of them's called Flower Girl. That one with the big flowers.
Oh, there's one
I'm
named that?
clarifying
Oh, okay.
because people
I
are
thought you meant
asking.
like from
No,
the vendor. Okay.
that's the one it's closest to.
Okay. That's cool. It's cool you looked. All right. So this is already getting really shiny. And I'm on the blue, so I'm not as worried about going through the CA once I get up a little higher grit. But look at the shine on that thing.
Myra says, if only you had a sticker that gave you all that info on Zona paper.
What?
Myra's sticker.
Her sticker has Zona paper on it?
Yeah, it has like the Zona paper steps on it.
Oh, well, it's stuck on the fridge. What am I going to run in there and look on the fridge every time? Come on, Myra. Just kidding. See, this one I'm surprised didn't give us trouble. Turn it to the camera. That is usually what I see where it like cut the cross section of the flower. That's usually where there's a hole. Actually, you know what? I feel a little dimple there. So I might have missed one. Sometimes you find the holes after and you got to go back and redo these because they look so good, you're just excited. I kind of feel a couple little dimples that I probably missed, but that's all right. You guys won't judge. Or maybe you will, I don't care.
Somebody should try the one called Lavender Haze because it's also really, really pretty.
Yeah, and if
I
we
wonder
know
if
what
it-
people like, the bigger flowers or whatever, we'll make more of that style. For sure.
Myra says she didn't tell you to put it on the fridge.
Well, that's where all of our stickers are.
Yeah, our fridge is covered in those stickers.
Okay. Oh yeah, that is looking cool. So that's where the CA, like the transition here, if you were to close your eyes, you wouldn't be able to say where the wood is and the rest starts. Now I have one little, that one I pointed out right there, I feel a hole there that I missed, but I'm not going to stop for that right now. You can always go back and redo it and resand it and polish it. Put some CA in there and start over. That's the beauty. You can do it as many times as you want. But this is looking pretty good. I got 2 more pieces of Zona here, and then we'll take a look. I mean, this stuff is really shining up nice. For the most part, the BSI Flex is, I don't notice it near as much like the fumes, but today I noticed it a lot. Probably because it is perfectly still in here, like we don't have the door open or anything. Mm-hmm. And usually when I'm doing stuff, I have the doors open. Or a fan on or something. Oh yeah, look at that. Does that show up very good in the camera? I mean,
Yeah,
you can
it
see
looks-
all the way through the blank
It looks great.
in one spot.
That's very cool.
Yep, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, well, let's recap. What do we got to recap? 1, don't turn the wrong blank. Glue your inserts in way early, not an hour or 2 before. Glue them in the day before because it's so much better. And use 15 or 30 minute, much better than 5. 5, if you have a catch, 5 sometimes will break loose, where 15 and 30 will give a little flex, and then hopefully your catch comes undone, and you won't break loose the glue. That's why knife makers use 15 and 30 a lot, or they should, because it's less brittle and more forgiving. So glue them in early. Make sure you drill the hole deep enough for whatever you're making, because sometimes they have a longer tang on them. And then just be prepared to be covered in snow for the hour. But this is a cool one. Really cool blank. Let's see, I had some micro cloths. Here's one. I don't want to rub it in paper towels. Oh.
Did you show people your glued bottle?
No.
Oh, because Michael was saying just don't set a bottle of BISI Flex on the shelf and forget about it. And then I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
'Cause I was thinking about your thing that's glued.
So the reason I didn't have any Flex is because I had Mercury Flex in here, and I keep everything in a Tupperware tray. And my Mercury
that's
Flex
so
is
funny.
glued to the bottom. I don't know if I can get it out. It's stuck. But it glued my walnut oil to my regular
That's funny.
CA glue. So any Flex, whatever brand, eventually they seem to leak, and I don't know why that is. So be aware of it, and don't have everything in the same tray as them, or you'll glue them all together.
Well, at least they weren't all glued to the workbench.
Right, at least they were not on the workbench, or they would have been real ugly. Okay, let's see. If we decided this was a ice cream scoop.
Oh, snap. And just to kind of clarify, because people are kind of searching the site and looking at blanks, the one that Chad turned today is a bottle stopper.
Yeah, they're
Blank.
long bottle stoppers.
And not a handle blank. So we have some flower handle blanks that are longer for like pizza cutters and longer stuff. And then we've got the bottle stopper ones. So if you're looking at the site, it's two different listings.
So here's the first one. We're going to make the coffee scoop. You can see how much thinner it is. I'm going to finish that because that's going to be an awesome scoop. Then I started this one, which was the one I just glued up. So luckily I didn't rip it out. So we'll finish this one once it dries. And then this is the one we got to the end here with. Really cool. I mean, flowers just look cool, but they're really hard to cast. But you can see why the wood is nice too, because then it gives you some substance and a change of pace. If it was all flowers, that would be, that would be the case at the top too. It would be flowers with all your stuff glued in it. So looks cool. We got lucky on this one that it didn't cut into the center, or the centers were soaked. So I only had a couple little fixes. I got one fix right here I want to do that I didn't notice till after.
I think Darren called it doing that one an ice cream scoop.
Yeah, I think that's a cool little ice cream scoop.
I think maybe because the flowers are bigger, it is like, I don't know, it's festive.
It's
like
very
ice cream.
whimsical, like
Yeah.
ice creamy. So what do you guys think? Pretty cool, not cool? Throw it in the trash, whatever. Thanks for bearing with us through the 2 mess-ups-ish. I guess one was definitely a mess-up, and one could have been a mess-up. But that was just a lesson in glue them in early. Don't wait. And I think you're much better off. All right, any questions before we get going? Planning?
Yeah, it's just like planning. Like if you're gonna go turn on
Planning
the
ahead.
weekend, spend some time on Thursday night, like go out and
Yeah.
pull up your stuff.
No, that's a good point. You can always prep it, days before is even better than the day before. So, yeah, plan ahead. Next week, are we doing new kits next week? We can.
You can.
We got a new kit next week, so we're going to do pen making with a brand new kit. It'll be I think it'll go live that day, huh? Maybe?
Yeah.
So we'll have some fun stuff. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And if you didn't watch last week's live stream, please do. Oh, I was going to bring that bowl over and I forgot. I did finish the bowl, and I should have done it on camera or at least a video, but do you guys have interest in seeing a bowl all the way through where we take off the tenon, where we sand it and polish it or finish it, and then take off the tenon? Because I kind of thought you might not, but then it seemed like there were a lot of people who did want to see that. So We can do that again. We have plenty of bowl blanks and plenty of bowls to do that with. So if that's something you want to see, let us know.
Somebody wants to know, are there any hints about the new kit? Can I give a hint?
What's the hint?
There are actually 2 different brand new kits. Why are you looking at me like that?
We're only doing one next week, though.
We're only doing one next week.
Yeah, there's
Well,
two new
there's
kits.
2 new kits in the works. One of them, I think, is a twist, and one is a click, right?
Yeah, one's a twist, one's a click. Very
Did I
good.
give too much away?
No, I mean, that doesn't, I mean, that's every pen is either a click or a twist.
That's
So-
not true. Some are like fountains with caps.
Okay, it's not a fountain with cap. That's a good point. Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you would, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. After we end this, if you go back in and hit the thumbs up, Jake says that helps. I don't know why he thinks that, but if it does, let's do that. Yeah, and then we'll see you around. We will have some new stuff next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Any other before we go?
Do you know what blanks you're going to use? If you guys have thoughts or suggestions on like what blank to go with this new mystery kit that's dropping next Wednesday, you should send us a message and make your voice heard.
I will say both kits are pretty cool, so I'm pretty excited for both. All right, everybody, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Everybody have a great night.
Have a